helps if you're in a market that free agents want to go to, if you have opportunity from a financial standpoint to pay good free agents. But certainly as coaches and as former players, I want to see roster expansion. I want to see us be able to really have the opportunity to develop young players and young talent. There are a lot of players who have potential to play in our league that just don't have opportunity because there's not enough spots. And because when you're holding an 11, 12-man roster, you got to have players who can impact right away. We've seen it from an injury standpoint. We've had to go the hardship route a number of times. If you have more roster spots than
60 seconds ago, the world of Team USA flipped upside down. Shockwaves hit fans everywhere. The locker room shaken to its core. And across the basketball universe, the same question echoes. Did Caitlin Clark really storm out? And against all odds, did Sue Bird extend an apology? Tonight, we peel back the layers of whispered rumors, icy tension, suffocating silence, backstage politics, favoritism, and jaw-dropping reports suggesting the so-called Yukon clique inside Team USA may have finally crossed the line. This is the instant Caitlin Clark drew the line in the sand. I've had enough. But before we dive deeper, hit that like button. What you're about to hear will rewrite everything you thought you knew. From day one of training camp, sources report a charged, almost electric tension in the air. Caitlin Clark, the most watched, adored, and talked about athlete on the planet, walked into a locker room already ruled by legends, veterans, and power players who thought they knew exactly how this team should operate. That's when the storm began. The bench whispers, the frost-bitten stares, the quiet rivalries that screamed louder than words ever could. Not a fight, not a meltdown, but unmistakably there. Insiders call it a seismic vibe shift. Fans call it cold-blooded disrespect. Reporters label it politics at its finest. One undeniable truth remains. Caitlin Clark felt it all, every slight, every calculated glance, from her very first day. Was it manipulation, favoritism, pure ego? The truth remains buried, for now.
Because Sue Bird was kind of like a new generation type thing. It kind of centralized the process. There was a lot of shady means last year with just multiple people involved. Everyone throwing up their hands saying it wasn't them. And now with Sue Bird there, you got a square person that's running things. Like on the men's side, you got Grant Hill. Prior to that, you had Jerry Colangelo. And in this situation, with Gino Auriemma, Sue Bird, is the Yukon Mafia about to try to move Caitlin Clark out the way for Paige Beckers at the point guard position?
But behind closed doors, whispers had been swirling for months. Some of Team USA's power players were clinging to the old guard, unwilling to shift the spotlight. Others had already decided Paige Beckers should be the next face of the program. Some bristled at the media frenzy that seemed to follow Caitlin Clark everywhere. And some, they feared her meteoric rise, too much attention, too fast. Every time Caitlin touched the ball, the atmosphere shifted, subtle but unmistakable. Why? Because she wasn't just a player. She was the future, the ratings, the revenue, the cultural earthquake no one saw coming, and not everyone was prepared to handle that magnitude. Sources reveal that Sue Bird legend, icon, one of the game's greatest, was quietly concerned, not about Caitlin's skill, but the storm of expectations that followed her every move. In a recent interview, Bird explained that athletes need space, protection, and patience to grow. But the fans heard something else. They heard resistance. They heard conflict. Suddenly, rumors ignited like wildfire. Sue Bird doesn't want Caitlin. Sue Bird is deliberately holding her back. The whispers became a roar, and the entire narrative began to unravel.
All the time. The players. You never address the things that these players have done to contribute to any negativity around the league. You never do that. It took Nafisa Collier getting taken out for the remainder of the postseason for you guys to finally say something about the refs. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? The players are the ones who had Caitlin Clark as the most flagrantly fouled player in the league. That was the players. Don't make that about fans. The organization, there's been organizations such as the Indiana Fever who lied and hid injuries about Caitlin Clark the whole time, all while using her to sell tickets and saying she's game to game and day to day for months at a time.
The veterans had quietly drawn a line, and it was against Caitlin Clark. Was it miscommunication? Misinterpretation? Or was the tension simply reaching a boiling point? Whatever it was, it sparked a fire the staff couldn't contain. Rumors ignited like lightning. Word spread that Stephanie White allegedly whispered in a media room that some inside Team USA were debating removing Caitlin from key rotations. Was it true? No one confirmed it, but the internet exploded. Fans erupted. Players looked around, stunned. Reporters demanded answers. And Team USA? silent. Their silence screamed louder than any statement ever could. Then, the unthinkable happened. Multiple sources say that after a final film session, where Caitlyn was allegedly criticized for things she didn't even do, she finally snapped. Not with anger, not with theatrics, but with icy, professional resolve. "If this is how I'm valued, then I'm done," she reportedly said. The room froze. Eyes dropped. Some didn't realize the depth of her frustration. Others quietly breathed a sigh of relief that someone finally spoke the truth. And just like that, Caitlyn Clark walked out. Panic erupted among the staff. Veterans realized they had crossed a line. The backlash? It wasn't really about Caitlyn. It was about what she represented. A rising force challenging the old order. History has shown us time and again, Magic, Bird, they didn't stop the next legend. Why should Caitlyn be any different? Watching her rise, seeing women claim their voices, dominate their platforms, and finally earn what they deserved, it's been nothing short of a revelation. Even Sue Bird reached out. Not out of guilt, not to apologize for herself, but because she genuinely respected Caitlyn and understood what the game needed. The message was simple: you deserved better. And when someone of Sue Bird's stature validates your struggle, the world listens. Fans felt vindicated. Young players felt seen. Veterans realized this isn't 2012 basketball anymore. The future had arrived, and her name is Caitlyn Clark. For years, the Yukon Mafia joke lingered. Tonight, it shattered. One of the biggest legends acknowledged her worth. Conspiracies were crushed. Tension exposed. Team USA forced to reset. And most importantly, Caitlyn Clark proved she's unstoppable. Not because of hype, not because of viral clips, but because her impact eclipses politics, favoritism, and locker room drama. She changed everything. So now, the question isn't if Caitlyn Clark belongs on Team USA. The real question is, can Team USA survive without her? Tonight, the world witnessed what happens when the biggest star in the game is underestimated, and they'll never make that mistake again.